Hi, everyone. This is Hannah Hanley, and I'm joined by Nate Ganna. We both work in the spirits industry, and this is Caviar and Chips, our podcast dedicated to the industry, what's going on in our lives, and more. Thanks for joining us. Let's get into it. All right. Welcome back to Caviar and Chips. We are so excited. We have our friend, our colleague, our whiskey dude, one of the Bourbon bros, Danny Bardstown. That's not actually his name, but that's what he goes by on Instagram. Dan Callaway from Bardstown Bourbon Company here. Dan, welcome to Caviar and Chips.
Awesome. I am excited to join with my friends, just hang out, talk caviar. I'm ready. Talk chips. Let's do it.
First, we were
Awesome.
just in Napa. We were at Silver Oak, and they actually did a caviar and chips pairing, which was awesome because I feel like there's this like whole full circle of Silver Oak and Bardstown.
Yeah, I love it out. So you were at the Napa one?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that space. It's gorgeous.
Have you been there?
Yeah, I've been there a couple times and they have that upstairs, little private room, and they're always so hospitable and kind, and the wine obviously is awesome. And when we were looking at the project together, I got to spend some time out there. Just
Oh,
very cool
cool.
place to be.
That's awesome.
So it was you guys that really hooked it up for us. So thank you for that. Because without going to the Silver Oak dinner in Bardstown with you, we wouldn't have met Lauren Cipriani, who absolutely hooked us up. What a monumental connection that was. She gave us a private caviar and chips tasting with Silver Oak, which was just unheard of. So love you for that.
Amazing. Amazing.
She's the boss.
Yeah, it
Cool.
was so cool.
That's great. So
Wow.
when did you guys get back from Napa?
Yeah,
Last
last
week?
Friday.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Last Friday, 10 days ago. Yeah.
Has it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was
It's been 10 days. I'm
been 10
And you were
just
days.
now
still
Yeah.
recovered.
getting along at the end of the trip. That's the real test of a friendship.
You know
Oh,
what?
yeah.
That's exactly what we were saying too. We were going and we were, in the car so much together, and everywhere we were going, we were together. And then as I'm never going to let her fail on this one, she was babysat by me on the first night. And even then we're still as close as we are. So yes,
I was
she was 3 hours
fine.
late and I babysat her.
Okay.
That's love right
I
there.
am not a pilot, so I don't know how I could have got my plane there faster.
All you do is switch from Alaska Airlines to any other airline. It'll
Wow.
work. I promise.
Oh my God. Anyways, yes. Basically, Dan, we are siblings now,
Mm,
Yeah.
and Nate's an only child, so this is really important for him to
okay.
have
I didn't know
siblings.
Yeah.
that. That
This
explains a
is
lot.
huge.
Yeah,
I know,
That explains a lot, right?
right?
Me, like me and you staying together in London,
Oh, yeah.
to this. Do you know how her and I met?
I have no idea.
This is crazy. So her brother is basically one of my best friends' best friends. They grew up together, went to Gonzaga, and it took him 9 years to say, "Hey, dude, did you know my sister is the CMO of Heritage Distilling?" And I was like, "No." And she was like, "Hey, sis, do you know that I'm really close with Nate Ganna?" And she was like, "No, thanks." Like,
I was
That's
like,
so
what
thanks.
wild.
We both like,
the
"Thanks, Nate."
fuck?
Yeah,
Like,
So what was
yeah.
the
You took
first
nine
hangout?
fucking
What did
years.
you guys do? Was it an
we
awkward
actually, we
introduction?
actually, we did,
That was
we
hilarious.
never really met until we went to Seattle Cocktail Week, and
Yeah,
and then I was babysitting Nate.
Mm,
yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds about right.
yeah.
Sounds about
We were
right.
out until like 2 or 3 a.m. and
That's
yeah,
right.
it was wild.
That's
We were like at
right.
the Fairmont
Yes.
in Seattle, which is a really high end bar. Nate's like, "We'll
Yeah.
take 12 shots of Jameson," and then he's door dashing like Taco Bell or something. Or
Oh, for sure I was on all
to
accounts.
the
Absolutely.
Fairmont
They would
bar.
they wouldn't serve us. They wouldn't serve us.
Their
I'm
kitchen was
I'm
shocked.
not sitting
closed.
there idle.
Yeah, their kitchen was closed.
Yeah. Not shocked at all. Love that. Love that for you, Dan. Dan knows me too well.
We've had some
Oh my
fun
God.
ones.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, good
crazy. And
times.
then we just from there we kind of hit it off. We had a lot of projects based on the fact that at the time she had a really good product and I had the audience, and so we were showing off a lot of cool products. And then COVID hit, and Hannah supported me through COVID, which was truly amazing. And so we kind of just stayed in touch ever since. And obviously now Hannah's with IWSC and myself, and you guys have become close, which is so great to see. So it just kind of works super well with what we have. And we didn't know we'd have any traction with doing a podcast, but we actually have, and it's really cool. And then we were like, okay, we can expand now. Like, it took a long time to get, not a long time actually, only like probably 7 or 8
I know.
episodes till Hannah really locked it in. And now that she has, we were like, okay, who are our first guests going to be? And like right off the bat, we're like, Danny B.
Oh,
It's
wow.
got to be Dan.
That's an
It was
honor.
cool. Got to be Dan.
It's got to be Dan.
No, this is so sick.
That's
This is so sick.
awesome.
So why don't you tell us about you? First of all, you have the name and the moniker Danny Bardstown, but why do they call you that? What is your story?
Yeah. Bardstown, right? So Bardstown Bourbon Company is where I started in bourbon, really, back in 2018. I was in wine before that and restaurants. And then all my 20s, I was a musician. So classical musician. I played in
Wait, hold on. You're not in your 20s right now?
31.
You're only
Yeah, there
31?
we go.
No.
Oh. I was like, oh my God.
Wow. He's aged horribly.
Hannah, is it?
I was like, how is
I'm
that
dead.
possible? And then I was like,
I'm
the
dead.
math isn't mathing.
The math is not
No,
mathing.
it doesn't add up.
Wow.
No, so my whole life I thought I'd be a musician. My dad's a musician, his dad's a musician. It's what I studied in college. It's what I always wanted to do. And then I used to do these runouts to China. Once a year, I'd go over there and play and do these tours. And then on that tour was a girl from Kentucky, my wife now, who I moved up and we got married. And so I left orchestra world and moved to Kentucky and was just looking for something new to do, and had always been obsessed with cocktails and spirits and wine, and decided to go hard on wine and got my SOM certifications. And then from there met the people starting Bardstown Bourbon Company and just never looked back. And a lot of lucky breaks and a lot of good mentors in a short amount of time.
Who was it that poached you from the restaurant to Bardstown?
Yeah, it's a great question.
Was it Mark?
No, this was before Mark. This was Joe Heron, who amazing entrepreneur. He started Crispin Cider. He then was founded Copper and Kings, and he was American Brandy, which was just down the road from where I was. And he would come in, and then he introduced me to David Mandel, Dan Lind, who were at Bardstown at the time. And I came down, and my interview was tasted about 20 distillates and talked for a couple hours. Then we went and got some pizza, and I made up my mind the next day. So it's pretty fun.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And
Unbelievable.
And I do want to touch on your wife, Sarah. She still is in music, and she does amazing stuff.
She's incredible. She runs the Louisville Academy of Music, which is over 400 students in Louisville, and huge focus on outreach, and does a ton of scholarships for students that wouldn't normally have access to private lessons. And it's a lot of mentorship. And I feel like she's the one putting a lot of positivity in the world. So it's great.
She's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, tell us also, one of the things that we really talk about on the podcast is wellness in the industry. And I like to hear also what people's days look like. So
yeah.
Can you tell us what does a typical day look like for you?
Okay. That's a great question. With a focus on wellness or a focus on truth? No,
yes.
I have been going to the gym a ton lately, which has been awesome mentally for me. I always did sports in high school, and I just get such joy from that. And I think I got away from it for a few years in my early 30s. And now I've been about a year and a half back, just regular gym. So I was there, usually get there 5:30, and then came back.
Wow.
Yeah, my oldest has to be at school at 7:30. So I do the gym. And I took him, and then I hit the Peloton too. So it was super wellness morning for me. And then I'll go right into so with spirits, it's a lot of tasting, a lot of profiles, but it's also a lot of inventory, right? So it's a lot of Excel sheets and looking at what's aging and what's coming of age and where it is, and is it on the right floor, and proofing. I set up my samples for the week and what we're going to taste. We have a tasting panel tomorrow. And then with product development and blending, I think the primary job is connecting all the departments, right? And we do that through a weekly meeting. So I'll check in with the marketing team. Right before this, I had a call with the finance and quality team, just looking at how things are going and where we want to, what we want to do. And every now and then there'll be a cool PR email about a trip or something. That front facing looks amazing, but you'd be shocked how much of the job is, a little more
Behind the scenes.
quantitative. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. So
Yeah.
that's what I've been doing today. So from a wellness standpoint, I think I got off to a good start. Had a great, I met my wife for lunch. We had some Indian food. It was amazing.
Aw.
I know it's been a great day, and I will do some proper blending work in the afternoon. I try to space it out. You can't do it all in the morning, all in the afternoon. You just go back and forth. Anyway.
On that, you've had kind of a, and I've been watching you obviously for years as a fan versus friend, and you've had a meteoric rise to where you are. You're probably one of the most influential people in Bardstown right now. How did that come to be?
I it's a great question. For first, I have to back way up and say Bardstown is the best team in spirits, is what we have. So there's from everyone to Mark Irwin, our CEO, to our marketing team, to our PR team, and then you've got the most talented operational team that has all this experience, a lot of them coming over from the big guys. So we were able to build this team primarily from individuals with a lot of industry experience in a big spirits company, and they really wanted to make their mark with a growing company. So you've got a lot of passionate individuals and you've got the best leader. I just happen to do some front facing things representing that team. So some things will get attributed to something I'm doing, but honestly, all the work is going all around the company. I just happen to put
And
words together.
that's spoken like a true leader right there. You'd never take the credit yourself. You'd give it to your team, which is unbelievable, And yeah, I do agree with you, team effort for sure. But
Yeah.
you're so happy to see, that's how positive you are about your team. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
they're
Really
amazing. And
cool.
you've met most of them, but what I tell people is
Oh yeah, I love them.
come to Bardstown and just pop into any office and you'll see an energy, kind of this contagious positivity, right? And
Yep.
man, it's just a
Well,
special place. And it's also what's
yeah.
helped me, and I don't mean to ramble, but Bardstown's at this intersection where we have the financial backing to do some really cool things and buy some unique barrels and take risks and not worry about, keeping the lights on if we take a couple risks. But this tiny team where we can make quick decisions. So we can execute a project in weeks that might take a couple years in a larger machine. So it's that sweet spot, and that's how we can execute fun projects.
Hosted IWSC last year at Bardstown, and I can truly speak to every department being really engaged and really hospitable. I mean, I was in the warehouse working with Matt and the warehouse guys, and then we
Yeah,
had the project managers helping us pouring in the background. And you obviously were one of our judges, and the whole hospitality restaurant team was just amazing.
yeah,
There's a true thread of culture that is really impressive, and it's really hard to do. It's
yeah.
really hard. So
Yeah, it's
yeah.
it's crazy. It's a level of trust, and you got to really you can lose that so quickly.
Hmm.
You get a couple bad instances or a couple negative interactions, people that maybe aren't the right fit when you hire, and you can lose your culture so quickly. So I think it's something we work to actively maintain and improve. And to me, that's all starts with Mark, and then Pete Marino, our president, right? He's incredible.
Hmm.
So they've set a nice standard for the culture, and it makes it much
That's
easier to
awesome.
step onto a moving train than to start the train, right? So when
Yeah.
people come in, they're just hopping on and we're going.
Yeah. Well, I had the opportunity to hang out with Mark in Mark's office when I was having a panic attack. And
Oh
he
yeah.
was so
Yeah.
sweet. And then hung out with him and his wife at the KBF Bardstown
Yeah.
party.
Hannah,
Yeah.
you saved a life. You saved someone's life. I mean, it's got to make you feel positive.
Well,
Have you talked about
Wasn't
that?
it the CFO's
It was the
son? Wasn't it the CFO's son?
yeah.
CFO's son who was volunteering to open bottles for IWSC, and he went with the box cutter and was cutting towards his forearm, which they told us, a millimeter in a different direction, and would have been bad.
Oof.
But
Wow.
Hannah was the absolute champion. Walked him down the stairs, straight down outside. held it up. You did it.
I think your
Amazing.
safety team was like, "What the actual fuck?" But it
Yeah.
was. There's some
It was
policies that you
actually
guys had to
crazy.
write, but it's fine.
Yeah. Crazy. But he's doing
Crazy.
great. He's doing
Oh,
awesome.
good.
He's got a nice gnarly scar from it, but
I bet. Oh, I haven't texted
yeah,
him in a
He's
while. I
thriving.
gotta
he's
text him.
thriving.
Check
You
in.
should. That's a bond.
Yeah, we're all
That is a
literally
bond.
trauma bonded. But
Yeah.
Mark was also like, "Oh yeah, keep a tourniquet in my car," and I was like, "I could have used you a couple hours ago."
Yeah.
Yeah. Holy smokes. Yeah, he's badass,
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
And seeing all his stuff in his office, I'm like, wow, don't fuck with that guy.
yeah,
He's a legend for a reason. Yeah, he's
that's so
incredible.
cool.
The fortunate thing is this ability to innovate and experiment. And I think we've set a really nice precedent for collaboration. And from there, built some trust where we can keep collaborating with some unique brands. Obviously, the Cathedral release was a big success for us,
Yeah,
which
speak
was
to that.
just yeah. So that's
Please.
starting again. That started um, really started with a Frenchman named Rocky, who amazing individual who runs a cooperage in France. And I always kind of ping these coopers, these barrel makers, if they've got anything interesting, like what's their R&D project? What do you got? And Rocky had these barrels, and so when Notre Dame caught fire, the French government set out to find the best wood in all of France to repair Notre Dame. So you've got scientists, you've got experts going all over the country. What is the best wood? And we will repair this canopy. And they found this lot in the Bercé Forest in the Loire Valley, where all your, Sauvignon Blanc is. And there's these 300-year-old trees that were planted, and they deemed them acceptable and the best to repair Notre Dame. Rocky had a line to some of them. They repaired Notre Dame, and they were seasoned and they were extra, and they could make barrels out of them. Right. So
That
then you
is
have
so
barrels
sick.
made from the greatest wood in France. The thing is, when wood is 300 years old, it grows really slowly, much tighter grain. So it's going to take you a while to extract, but the flavor is going to be incredible because it's just been developing that long. So we bought them. Mark gave the approval to randomly buy 6 very expensive barrels, bring them over. And usually, like, a blend will come first and then pair it with the barrel. This time, the barrels came first. So then it was making a blend to go in there. And I just wanted to find the best Kentucky bourbon I could find and make a blend made for the French oak. I broke cardinal rule of barrel aging, where double barreling is never double barrel something that old. You'd be crazy to do it because it would just get too tannic and grippy. And just, if flavor's a seesaw, this would be all tree, no fruit, right? Just like wood. But since it has the tight grain, it takes forever to extract. And then I put it on the first floor of our biggest warehouse. Low floor, low, slow, biggest warehouse, like a pot of water, right? Small warehouses are going to be fluctuate in temperature. The big one's really steady. I thought it was going to be like 2 months in there before it picked up. It actually went 14 months on the first floor. Got the extraction.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like 19-year bourbon in there, and then it was just lightning in a bottle where 60 Minutes had reached out for this story, and they wanted to feature a distillery. And I have to give all the credit to Jeff Steinberg of the barrel broker Brindiamo, based Brindiamo in Nashville. Said, check out what Dan and Bardstown are doing. And they came, and it just happened that the correspondent had just covered Notre Dame. And then we were telling them about the cathedral, and it just got, again, very lucky, very fortunate for that to all come together.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
just got
Jeff
chills.
Hopmeyer is
Like that
yeah,
is
Jeff
so
Yeah.
Hopmeyer is a good
cool.
friend.
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
the Brindiano team is amazing. They're out here. Jeff Hopmeyer and I've had a few hangouts together. He's the man.
Yeah.
He's super cool, and yeah, like they're what they're building at Brindiamo is very similar in time and space to what you guys are building. It's slow and steady seems to win the race here,
Yeah.
and watching you guys, you knew you didn't have your own whiskey for the first 6 years, and you knew it was going to be a patience game, and you guys were sourcing exceptional stuff. And now you've come to a place where, I mean, Green River might arguably become the biggest brand in the US on a whiskey side within 5 years.
Be it.
It's kind of crazy to
I
see.
believe in Green River. It's an authentic, beautiful story. with a real distillery to back it up, which makes it a unicorn, right? You can write this historic story. You can source liquid to have both, to have it actually distilling there. Pride of Owensboro, Green River is incredible. Yeah, so we're hitting it at the right time where our products have aged and we're ready to make our move this year.
And I say that with the utmost respect that the time in the industry right now is probably at its low point of all time,
Yeah.
or at least since the 70s, 80s. And you guys are shining with what you have, and the different offerings between the two brands are so varied yet so focused. Like Bardstown's definitely on the higher end and luxury scale. And then you've got something for the affordable everyday drinker in Green River, and you guys are just killing both right now. It's just
It's
so cool to see.
Thanks, man. It's been awesome, and we are hitting at the right time. I think Bardstown will always be this explorer. Green River will always be classic. It's fun to work on them both and go back and forth because they are totally different approaches. The Green River
Can you
Foolproof has done awesome. Yeah, Hannah, what you
can
got?
you speak to like the Bardstown Green River partnership? What is I
Yeah,
know I know that there's a, there's a lockstep there, but what does that actually look like?
so we just formally put them under the same umbrella, which we call
Hmm.
Lofted Spirits, which
Hmm.
is the umbrella for Bardstown Bourbon Company and Green River. Lofted Spirits is a shout out to Pete Lofted, our founder. When Pete passed in 2019, that's when then and we didn't have Green River at this point in time. Bardstown was really at a crossroads of what to do. And there were a lot of different viewpoints with his say should Bardstown sell to a big guy? Should we keep investing to grow? Should we just stay flat as we are? Bardstown leadership really wanted to invest to grow, keep building warehouses, build another distillery. Let's go. So we needed investment to make that happen, capital investment. So we were actively looking for someone to purchase Bardstown Bourbon Company and could have been a myriad of different, say a big guy, say a Pernod comes in, then we could be the home of Jefferson, would have looked completely different, right? But then Pritzker Private Capital, who has been amazing out of Chicago, purchased Bardstown Bourbon Company. Yes, they are private equity, but they are known for being long-term holders. So what they do is inject the capital, let you grow, build warehouses, build another distillery, go out and purchase Green River. So we then had the money to buy Green River Distillery initially just to own Kentucky custom distillation. So if you wanted custom distillation, you would then come through us, but then learned more about the brand, fell in love with the brand, and decided to grow and really invest into the River brand. And it's been one of the best decisions we ever could have made.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you're, I try to do as much as I can with you guys and for you guys, and you guys have supported me, and I'll always support you. And we had St. Patrick's Day recently, and I was on TV in Chicago, and you guys had your St. Patrick's Day "Don't Drink the
Oh
Green
man.
River, Drink Green River" campaign, which was super cool to see.
Yeah, and Green River,
Yeah,
you'll see it's got this little bit of tongue in cheek. It's a little more has a little more playful brand, not taking itself as serious, which makes it, it's just such a great juxtaposition to the two brands because they live in two different worlds, both quality, amazing bourbon, but different approaches. There's this ghost of Green River you'll
yeah.
see running around doing all these pranks and stuff. It's fun to be a part of.
You take, I mean, obviously you take pride in both brands. Do you take one more seriously than the other? How does
No.
that work with you?
They're equal. Hey, look out.
Twins.
Um, no,
Love that.
they both have their own challenges. Bardstown has a little more of the one-offs, like a cathedral, established collaborations, finishing, blends. Those are a blast. In some ways, they're harder to set up. In some ways, they're easier to execute because the flavor can be its own thing. The challenge of Green River initially, how do you take all these barrels that have been aging in everything from tile to traditional to palletized warehouses and build out a consistent flavor, which is incredibly
Oof.
monumental task,
Wow.
and we have this awesome,
Oh,
yeah, we have an incredible lab team down there. A woman, Haley Bickett, who and Travis Cantrell runs all our quality, and it's all about testing these barrels to find consistency. And looking into what floors. I mean, people get so caught up on a mash bill, whether it's 76% corn, 78% corn. I would argue it really doesn't matter anything, not even on the same universe compared to the type of wood it was aged in, the yeast, what floor it was aged in. Show me anyone that can taste the difference between 76 and 78%. It's impossible.
You have made my day by saying that sentence. And I'll tell you why. And it's not to offend bourbon by any stretch of the imagination, but it's to kind of shed light. Uh, the complexity in Scotland and Ireland is just so vast because you're allowed to be that in that industry. You are not allowed to be that in bourbon,
Hmm.
and so you have a whole bunch of casks, and there is, in theory, very little differentiation between the casks based on the mash bill, right? Like based on the
Hmm.
fact that you're right. Like the mash bill can only matter so much
Yeah,
because it's always going to be new American oak no matter what. And then you guys come along and change the way of the world. And obviously shout out to Owen as well with the Angels Envy team as a whole for creating this kind of cask branded situation where you have a finishing product in rye and bourbon. But now you've got this so much creativity going on now, and I think you're probably the leading cause of that, to say to people that you can explore outside of all these other
yeah,
situations.
yeah.
And that's definitely where this is going for sure, because like I took your cathedral to a private tasting at a place called the Whiskey House here in Nashville, and people couldn't believe the flavor coming out of it, you know
That's awesome.
and it's like, it's unbelievable to see what you guys have done. I had someone come up to me and say, I didn't know the story when you were pouring that for me. And he went to Bardstown, a friend of mine, Aaron, and he went to Bardstown, and he goes, dude, I didn't know the story until I went there, and wow, what a difference that made. But I feel like that's you with everything you're doing. You know what I mean? You don't just put out a standard product.
Yeah, well, you know, there's a lot of fun to innovate and experiment and to make tracks, right, into new flavor profiles. But I think with the Green River core and the BBC core, those will be replicated and as standard as we can get. And those are, long term, what's going to drive the ship, right, is the core lineup. The other things are kind of sprinkled around the outside. So to answer your question, there's so much aging in barrel right now that will be creative and new, and I get excited if it's the first time it's ever been done, like our Amrut, first time an American whiskey had ever been finished in Indian whiskey barrels. That makes me happy if it's new territory. But beneath all that, the undercurrent, right, is the flagship, which for Green River at least is incredibly classic Kentucky.
So if you think it's not the mash bill, what do you think it is if you're talking about standard bourbon?
Yeah, okay.
To kind
So
of put you on the spot
no,
here.
this is great. I think this is what I think about. It is the mash bill itself, but I guess those little differences, right? We get so hung up in labeling a distillery by their, like everyone at Heaven Hill is 78, 10, 12, or Wild Turkey, 75, 13, 12, right? And that I just don't think it's about that. A couple grain percentages aren't.
Oh, I
Obviously,
love
if you
that.
if you change your rye content from 10 to 36, you're going to taste that. But the floor it ages on, the yeast, the still, your cut points, all that dramatically change. I mean, we target 500 different points of production. It's just very easy to relate a flavor to a mash bill.
What do you mean by
Can you go
that?
back to that?
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
what do you
Yeah.
mean? What?
So this is,
Whoa.
yeah, and you should definitely have Nick Smith on here. If you've met Nick, right? Our director of distillation. He's incredible. Um, but the distillery was built to be flexible. So we came out of the gate with this ability to distill for others as well as ourselves. That's how we got off the ground, right? Selling the clear spirit. So right now we produce over 60 different recipes, where most distilleries might make one, two, five, 60 unique recipes for targeting over 500 points of production. So you could lay it out, your fermentation temperature, your column still temperature, your yeast, your barrel, your cook, every part of the process can be adjusted. That's why Bardstown Bourbon Company and Pete Lofted, what they set up, truly customizable whiskey. before Bardstown, if the three of us wanted to make a bourbon, right, we would go to a big guy and buy essentially their excess. But we wouldn't have any say in the profile. We'd slap a label on it, but we didn't dictate anything, and we couldn't say where we got it. With Bardstown, you're the chef coming in and using our kitchen, right? And we continue to do it. We make bourbon out of popcorn for 15 stars. I mean, it's amazing.
I did not know that.
That
That's
was wild.
awesome.
That was wild. Yeah, that was so cool to see. I didn't know that it was going to be that intense with the points of production, but that's also why you guys are where you are, right? Like nobody's thinking the way you guys are,
Yeah,
honestly, and that's so cool to see.
it really is a cool space to be in Bardstown. To put this level of innovation and creativity, and I can brag on that because I have zero to do with any of that. It's all the operations team pulling that off. It's cool to see.
So I gotta ask you just a personal side question on this. What has been, and I know they're all your babies, but what has been your favorite collab?
Yeah, I with the collabs, I go back to the people, right? The people find it hard to believe there's never a contract. We don't pay money for these collabs. There's no licensing fee. This is just trust. Think about Foursquare, right? Richard
Old
Seal.
school.
Yeah, this is that level of trust to say, yeah, you can put our logo on your bottle. Or he sent the logo, the branding for the glass, that level of trust to know that, hey, we're going to execute at a high level and give you a product that you'll be proud of without, I mean, most of it's done through Instagram. Amar Nino was done through Instagram. It's crazy. Silver Oak, one
What?
of the stipulations of Silver Oak was that there would absolutely not be any contract or any lawyers. We just did it, you know, which is, anyway, so
Wow.
goes
If
back
I
to the
was a
people.
Silver Oak lawyer, I'd be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Yeah. Or maybe not because they didn't have any paperwork to say what the fuck is this?
Yeah, take the week off.
Oh man.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
favorite. I always shout out Denis at Chateau de la Baude. He does such an amazing job, and he's come over a few times and toured. And the level, when we did that first collaboration with Chateau de la Baude Armagnac, the barrels in Armagnac, they never leave. They just refill them. They're massive, 400 liter barrels. And so it had never left. So they actually had to cut a hole in the roof to crane out the barrels to ship them. So, like, how could that not be one of your favorites when they go
Is
to
there
that
a video
extent?
of that?
Yeah, there is somewhere. I have pictures of it, but there's got to be a
That's
video of
awesome.
them pulling out the barrels. And, anytime with Amrut, their team was over multiple times working at it. Whenever it feels like that and feels special, it means a ton to me. And those are the ones I remember.
What what's it been like to learn from Steve Nally?
Yeah, put him up with anyone, right? As far and I still learned. I just did a trip to the UK. It was me,
Okay,
Steve, and his
wait.
wife
Yeah,
Donna.
how was that?
Amazing. It was amazing.
Was
And
there any babysitting?
no, he's great. We went around together. We were on the train. We had the train party together.
Oh
They were
my God,
both just,
cute.
they're both, I mean, for those of you who don't know, they're the only living couple in the Bourbon Hall of Fame. What I learned on that trip, because I'm always learning something from Steve, Donna told me his reputation in the 80s and 90s at Makers was that he was the one that just completely kept everything clean, right? Like clean freak, going in on a Saturday to clean it, that type thing. And it makes so much sense because distillation quality is all about your cleanliness, right? And not having any sort of grain buildup, anything like that. But that was his reputation, which just made, if you taste Makers from 92 or something, good God, it's
Wow.
amazing. And so I learned that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Actually, on that note that you just mentioned, did you meet up with anybody from the IWSC when you were in
Yeah,
London?
who do we? Oh, Dawn Davies, yeah, which was awesome. She was there. We went to a
Oh,
whiskey exchange. She pulled out one of the
no
craziest
way.
flights I've ever seen, which was amazing.
So
It
cool.
I
was it
feel
was
like it was
fun.
when you were
Yeah.
there. I was texting you guys about the blue buzz balls at
I
Costco.
think pretty amazing. But
That's right.
yeah,
It's like,
it's so cool to see, and IWC, I would credit so much of this, but how bourbon is coming into London, and just hopping around because the last time I was there a couple years ago, our stuff was present, but going into these bars and having bar teams excited about our products and using them in all these creative cocktails. It's been awesome to see bourbon making this entry. We had two events with the British Bourbon Society, which is amazing.
So
One up,
cool.
Wow.
yeah, one up in Manchester, one in London, and incredible
Oh,
bar
that's
called
so
Melody
cool.
Whiskey Bar in the Hammersmith. If anyone's over there, definitely check out that bar.
Very
Tell us
cool.
about 60 Minutes. What was that like? Was that crazy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was crazy. So the craziest thing about 60 Minutes is that they don't tell you, you don't see what they're going to air ahead of time,
Oh, yeah.
right? So
Well, you did awesome. You didn't
oh,
seem nervous
thanks.
at all.
Oh, it was good. I can talk
Yeah.
about bourbon, but
Yeah.
so we met their producer Rome, introduced
Hmm.
by Brindiamo, and then Holly on our team did a great job coordinating the interviews. Had about an hour Zoom call with the producer, and that was kind of the pitch. And I had my office, and I was zooming all the bottles and showing him, hey, these are our projects, and this is our glass warehouse where we're doing just basically trying to sell us because we knew they were going to pick one distillery to feature.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that was,
Yeah.
I felt like I had an hour to sell them, and
Yeah.
they loved it. I think the cathedral certainly helped, and then
Yeah.
Bill Whitaker, this was in January 25, came in, and it was surreal because I'd seen him so many times, and then he's just sitting at the lunch table and got to do a tour and taste things with him, and that kind of, I think, helped it feel a little more natural because we spent a couple hours together before the interview, just going
Yeah.
around and tasting, talking.
Wow.
And then his gift, one, he's brilliant, which helps. But two, he just makes you feel at home. Just makes it so conversational and so relaxed. And I don't know, a gift, obviously, for what he does.
Yeah.
And he did ask a few
Yeah.
questions that were pointed, and I was hoping they did not use those, and it turned out they didn't, and they really focused on the product and what the team's creating.
It
But
was it
yeah,
was
I think we
it was
needed that.
amazing. Yeah, it was
it
really good.
was it was so cool, and to have all the shots of the distillery, and we did a watch party. And I was more nervous
Oh,
for the watch party.
Oh,
Honestly, I was
yeah.
nervous because
Because you
it's
hadn't
like,
seen it. Yeah.
yeah, am I going to say something? I don't. It was 2 hour interview. I could have said, yeah, this is all about me, and something came
Danny,
out.
the only things that you ever do where you don't want anybody recording are the times that I'm with you
That's true.
late at night around the world. Don't you worry. I'm sure they made you look good.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you
And
didn't
no, I
send him
won't be
those
releasing
videos. Yeah.
any of my videos to
Oh
anybody.
man,
Don't you worry.
legendary.
Nate pulls them
Uh,
out on your birthday or something, and you're like, really?
Yeah.
Can we just
yeah.
not?
Yeah.
How about we not?
How
I
about
Oh
we
man.
not?
I always say the best thing about spirits is always the people, right? And some of the best times, my
Yeah.
memories are those late nights in wherever, Aspen or London, where you're just connecting with
Yeah.
the best people in spirits. And even if you're saying something
Oh my
dumb on
God.
video, the connection is there, and it still means a lot.
Oh God, no, we've hit it off in just such a great way. Uh, you obviously like the public speaking aspect of it, otherwise you wouldn't be on so many panels. How did you get used to that side of things and talking about
Ah,
it so confidently?
I don't know. I've always, I don't know, been both ways. I was really introverted for a while. Like when I was studying music, I was just studying a lot, but I always have this kind of, you know, other side to me. I think I get it from my dad that's pretty wants to be talking and entertaining. My youngest son certainly has it. He puts on a festival every morning. Uh
How
so
old are
Hey,
you?
so does Hannah's family.
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
4 and
No, Dan, I
6.
like to describe the difference between my mornings and Nate's mornings in details.
Yeah.
You talk
Oh,
about like getting
Yeah.
your kid up and ready to go to school at 7:30,
yeah.
like the hustle of getting our kids to the bus. And my younger daughter, so mine are 5 and 8, so like same, right? And
Yeah.
well, almost 5. My son turned 8 a couple days ago, and he's like oldest son, right? Firstborn, like he's like, he'll get up, he gets himself breakfast, gets dressed. My
Yeah.
daughter is like on her own
Oh,
agenda.
yeah. Yeah, we have the same situation completely.
Like,
I just found a letter. I was going to do my old stuff. This was actually last night when I ran for class president when I was a freshman, and I got a letter from the governor that said I was a well-oiled political machine. So I don't know what the
wow.
so I do have this
Wow.
side that, well, it's just so I have this side that wants to be talking and wants to be in front of people, but I think it's only 50%, maybe.
You
The
would
other,
make a good politician.
I
That
think
makes
I
sense.
don't know. I was born in England though, so I got no future.
I
Um,
got no future. Okay.
You were born in England.
yeah, I grew up over there and then came over. Yeah, it's always funny to
Wow.
go back. No accent, but sometimes I'll slip into
Yeah, I
it.
didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
first 11 years over there.
11 years
11 years. 11
I
beautiful
knew that.
years.
and no
For the
accent.
record, I knew that.
Wow. I feel like I did. There's no way I didn't. There's no
It would have
way.
come up.
But 11
Yeah.
is, yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have family there?
No,
Obviously you
no,
do.
no. My parents are my mom's a
Oh,
book, well, she's retired now. She's a book publisher. So she got a job in London and moved over there. And had a little
holy
stint.
smokes.
Yeah. I need
Does your dad still play music?
He does. My dad's a character. He's down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He always has a different moniker or band or name or uh something. One of the best things I ever did is I had this band with my brother in my 20s, and my dad was the guitar player, and we spent like 2 years just we'd go out and I was playing the orchestra too, but like we'd take 2 weeks and go around and play this band, and like I got to know him a lot better, and just hanging
Wow.
out in bars, which also made me get better at public speaking, right? You just hang out in bars every night, you get talking to random people. I don't know, I'm going off on my parents now, but that was a good way to get to know my dad. I owe him a phone call for sure.
It's okay if this becomes a
That is
therapy
so
session.
cool. Yeah.
Oh,
When are we all seeing each other next? When do the stars align?
I'll
I
be
think you and I are next week,
That's
right?
true. That I more meant Hannah, I
Yeah.
guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just
I'll
kidding.
Well,
be
that's for, I know, right?
yeah, I'll be in Kentucky Friday with C in early June.
Okay, that's per. Sarah, we'll have you over for dinner. It'd
Oh
be
my God, I
great.
would love that. Yeah,
Nate,
Dude,
we're doing something with you guys.
I can't even get her out to stay with me or even come to see me in Nashville. Now you guys got a dinner plan in Kentucky? This is ridiculous.
You can
Hannah, you're
come.
fired.
You can come. No,
Oh, gee, thanks, Hannah.
Nate's going to Europe for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 months. What are you doing?
mm, legend.
Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty excited. I'm the first non-Diageo employee to take private clients to Diageo's distilleries. So
Wow,
I'm really, really excited. Yeah.
that's
Didn't
awesome.
see this coming. Yeah, they offered it to me in December, and I kid you not, I was like, this is never gonna fucking happen. Like, no way. And 12 hours later, my client was like, hey, would you take us to Scotland? So it was a really, really weird
That is
situation that
amazing.
12 hours later, yeah, we have a full videography team coming out and drone and doing all this cool stuff to showcase what we're doing. But we're doing just the craziest stuff on planet Earth with Johnny Walker, and then they're opening up Port Ellen for me, which I could not believe.
Wow,
Um, during Faish Isle, which is kind of crazy. And then we're doing Lagavulin, private stuff at Lagavulin, private stuff at
wow.
Kalila.
Top secret.
Yeah, the guys are, yeah, it's pretty crazy. And then we're doing Craigellachie, or sorry, not Craigellachie. We're doing Singleton. We're staying at the Craigellachie Hotel. We're doing Mortlock, Cardew.
Now you're just making up
It's just going to
names.
be absolutely.
I know,
I
right?
know, right? Now we're just
And I
going to
was
go,
like,
dude.
Nate, are you doing all the logistics for this? Like, I feel kind of nervous about that. Like, do you need me to do an itinerary? He's like, I got it, I got it, got it, I got it. And I was like,
We got this. We got
I was
this.
like, okay.
Okay.
I love it. Good.
Yeah, no, it's like it's full on, and I just don't think that anybody on the trip is realizing how much we're doing, which is going to be kind of
Yeah. Do
crazy.
they have
But
to sign a
I told the
waiver
guys
to keep up with you? Or
they
they?
should.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that for a week, and then I'm going over to Ireland to do I believe I'm doing Teeling and Bushmills,
Wow.
and then come back to the States for 3 weeks, and then we go back out to Greece, London, and Hungary for 3 weeks. So, it should be a
Jeez.
fun summer.
So the
It's
condo's
a little
open, is
chaotic.
what you're saying.
For you, the condo is open.
It's a
Absolutely.
penthouse now.
And
He's
it's a
I
penthouse
heard
fancy.
now.
upgrade.
It's penthouse, penthouse. Let me see if I can.
Oh, let's
Oh,
see the
he's gonna give
view
us
Hold
the
on,
here.
I'll
tour.
try
I
and
love it. I love it.
turn the camera
Wait,
around.
Nate, also, you gotta
Oh,
tell
I
us
can't
about
turn
your
the camera
birthday at
around.
some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look
Oh,
at that.
wow.
There's
Nashville.
Yeah,
Cute.
we got a good situation. Yeah, the birthday was sick, guys. Charlie went all out on that. It was super cool. So Charlie Nelson reopened Belle Mead, which was fantastic, and he had a farm party out there, and it was like 500 people that came out. And
Wow.
then he goes, "Hey, what are we doing for your birthday?" And I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" He goes, "Well, it's our birthday too." So he got us a big old bus to take like 20 of us from my crew down to the farm, and we just had a great day. He had live music. It was kid friendly. There was games. There was a cigar station. But the coolest part for me, obviously, Danny, which you totally get, is they had a vintage whiskey bar of their old pours.
Oh, cool.
So they had their old casks. So they had things that you would never find anymore. So they had tequila cask, peach cask, honey, sherry, Halloween Black Label, single barrel employee casks, and like people were lined up for this stuff, like the original gangster
Oh,
stuff,
man.
And I think a lot of that stuff was distilled by you guys.
Yeah, well,
Like you guys did a lot for them.
yeah, back in, let's see, it would have been 2018 in September. We were doing, it was the first or second Bourbon and Beyond, and he gave me a bottle of the honey, and it was amazing. And I didn't know much about it. I didn't know it was like a rare thing because I was so in my own world, which I'm less now.
Yeah,
I think I just poured most. It was just like we had it that night, and it was
yeah.
gone. It was amazing, though.
And the coolest thing is how him and I hit it off was uh we had Whiskey Live here in Nashville in 2022, and he he came out for it, and he was telling me that he's got this bottle of, it's called 419, which is actually his dad's birthday, and that's how we ended up becoming super
Oh,
close.
wow.
Oh, birthday
And so
buddies.
yeah, and we really touched for him, and so he was trying to find 419 when his dad passed, and this past Saturday, we had it together
That's
on my
amazing.
birthday, which was like probably one of the top five most iconic things I've ever done in the industry. So it was like such a heartfelt moment to do that with him. So it was
That's
really cool.
Dude, that's awesome, man. What a
That's
good
so
person.
sweet.
This industry is just so great, like
Yeah,
just amazing people,
it really is, man. It's my favorite part of it. Really is.
Yeah, we're so lucky, dude.
I do joke a lot
Man.
about the Bourbon Bros and the Bourbon Bro drama, but it is sweet, all your guys' relationships. I love it. all, all
Oh,
these
I
little
wouldn't trade it for the world.
bromances. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I literally posted you two on my story right now, which is great. It kind of looks like a 60 minutes
Do we
conversation,
look
which is
cute?
awesome.
Are we cute?
Super
Always. Is
cute.
that even a question?
Yeah.
Come on.
61
I
minutes.
love that.
61. Oh,
That is too good. When are you here next week? Monday, right?
Monday, Tuesday. Yep. Doing some
Okay,
things, and
sweet.
yeah, let's connect and see.
Let's chop it
I'm
up,
going to
man.
your old stomping
Yeah.
grounds on Thursday. I'll be in Vegas. One night only,
Why? Are you going to end?
and just Thursday night.
Do you want some hookups?
No. I'm in out. I've got a morning flight.
Dude,
I
you
want
told me
no
that
part of
I was taking care of your room. I was comping, I was sorting you
no.
out.
I
What? Oh
no,
man.
I'm honestly in, event out. So it's
Are you serious?
That's how
mhm.
I like to live my life, Dan. Just
Wow.
get me in, get me out. Vegas, I got a 2-night max.
That's yeah.
No,
Whoa. When
I
was the last time you were in Vegas, dude?
couple months ago we did some cool
Oh, you did
things.
end up
Yeah,
doing
did that,
you
but
didn't
just went. So same thing was in. I went to Frankie's Tiki Room. Is that what it?
Yeah,
That place was
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
And there's another. Anyway, I
That's
talked about
sick.
you. Silver Dollar Lounge. That place was amazing. I'm
Yeah.
in and
Do you
out.
want anything? You want cigars or something?
Nope. I don't want to. No.
He's on his health journey, Nate.
Yeah, my
We're
Your
wellness
health
journey.
wellness.
journey.
No, we
We're
have. I would
pelotoning.
stay. Yeah, I would stay longer. We have an event. I just got to hop out the next morning.
Good for
Would
you.
adore it.
Have you done Nth before?
No, first time.
Cool.
What is
Cool.
that? I don't know what that is.
Cool. Nth whiskey show.
Oh.
Nothing that I'm willing to talk about, but Nth whiskey show.
Oh
Oh.
wow.
You'll have fun. You'll have fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love that for you, Dan.
Off the record.
Danny,
Yeah,
I'm a little
Yeah.
worried for you, but okay.
yeah.
Crazy.
You guys are the
Awesome. Thank you
best.
so much, Danny. We love you so
Thanks,
much.
Dan.
We
Love you
appreciate you.
guys.
We are obsessed with BB Co. and Green River. And where can people find you? On Instagram, on
Yes, great
socials?
question.
Yeah.
Thanks, Hannah. Setting me up. Bardstownbourbon.com, Green River Distillery. Bardstown Bourbon on Instagram, Green River on Instagram, and then I'm Danny Bardstown on Instagram. So yeah, hit me up. Honestly, I'll message if you're looking for a tour, tasting, anything special. I absolutely do my best to hook it up for you. The only thing I don't have is cathedral bottles, so I feel like I've upset everyone this last week. And but I'll do my best to help you find one.
I haven't opened mine yet.
Smart.
So
Smart.
if you need
Yeah.
one, I'll hook you up, Danny.
There you go.
That's $500.
Yeah.
You know what?
Easy.
For you,
So,
I like you. I'll give you a good deal.
$450. Okay.
$450. Oh man.
Thank you,
Awesome.
everyone, for joining us
Unreal.
on Caviar and Chips. Please like, subscribe, follow us. Follow Danny. He is awesome to follow.
Yeah, the man.
Awesome.